South Korea's birth rate is really bad, 0.78, the lowest among OECD countries, and the New York Times is reporting that South Korea population is declining at a faster rate than during the Black Death in Europe. I can't believe it's this bad. I'm really worried, so I looked at other YouTube videos. The videos about South Korea declining population have been viewed over 4 million times. I think a lot of people are really interested in my country's birth rate. So it's been widely publicized how serious the birth rate in Korea. So I'm gonna explain how the Korean government is trying to solve this problem. Real Korean knowledge. Let's start. Let's start with the bottom line. The South Korean government is trying to boost the birth rate by giving direct cash assistance to young people. In other words, we'll give you more money, so have a baby please. Let me introduce you to 3 of them. Parents' salary. The parent salary is a childbirth incentive policy that was implemented in 2023. Basically, parents who have a baby will receive monthly childcare support for 2 years. It started in 2023, and in 2024, the amount was expanded. Starting in 2024, regardless of the parent's wealth or income, if you have a newborn baby who is Korean national, all parents receive a parent salary. From 0 to 11 months, they will receive $1,000 per month. From 12 to 23 months, they receive $500 per month. So if you have a newborn baby in 2024, you will receive a total of $1,800. Quite a lot. Next, the first encounter voucher. A first encounter voucher is a voucher that is given once at birth. It is paid in mileage that can be used like cash. The payment amount was originally $2,000, but from 2024, the amount has changed slightly. When you give birth to your first child, you will receive $2,000 and $3,000 for the second child and $5,000 for the twins. With these vouchers, parents can use in variety of things, from childcare to medical care, food, and cultural activities too. Next, the special loan for newborn parents. The special loan for newborn parents is a policy that provides benefits in terms of loan amount and interest rate when parents buy a house. Parents of newborns who meet the requirements can borrow up to $380,000 at a minimum interest rate of 1.6%. Considering that the average mortgage rate in South Korea was 4.48% as of 2023, so the interest rate for a special loan for newborn parents is good. And if you have an additional child, the interest rate drops by an additional 0.2 percentage points per child. So the more children you have, the lower the interest rate that you can get. For example, if you have 3 children, the interest rate for a special loan for newborns range from 1.2% to 2.9% for 15 years. These are just some of the new and revised childbirth incentives in South Korea. There are many other policies such as zero payment for hospitalization for children under 24 months of age. However, most of these policies focus on cash assistance. Before Korea, there are countries that have tried to increase their birth rate through this kind of cash support. One example is Hungary. In Hungary, couples under the age of 40 can pledge to have a child. The government would give them a loan of about 40 million won. Then if they have one child within 5 years, the interest was waived. If they had a second child, 1/3 of the loan was forgiven. If they had a third child, the loan was forgiven in full. As a result of these incentives, Hungary's birth rate increased from 1.23 children in 2011 to 1.61 in 2021. But as the Financial Times says, the birth rate has risen modestly over the past decade to 1.6 children, but as recently as 1989, Hungary's birth rate was 1.8. In other words, there's a limit to how much you can do to increase the birth rate with cash support. In the past, South Korea's birth rate was quite high. From the 1950s to the 1960s, the birth rate was 5 to 6 children. So at that time, we had a birth control policy. There was even a slogan that said, "Have one child, live young, live wide on a small land." But in the late 1970s, Korea's birth rate began to decline. Since 2004, the country has been using childbirth incentive policies. According to South Korea's National Commission for Low Birth Rate and Older People, the amount of money the South Korean government has spent on childbirth incentive from 2006 to 2021 was 28 trillion won. However, as the broad and shallow policies are being implemented in a confusing manner, fail to reverse the declining birth rate. As a Korean, I think the reason why young people in Korea are not having children these days is not necessarily because of money. There are also issues like career interruption for women, and also I don't think Korean society has a high level of respect for newborns and babies. Recently, there was a referendum in an apartment building in Korea. The issue was to install a heater at the school bus stop where children get on and off. With the weather being so cold in Korea these days, I naturally assumed that the resident would vote in favor of installing the heaters, but the result was the opposite. 53% voted against it. In a society like this, where there is no consideration for children or for parents with young children, I don't think many South Koreans would have a baby just for the sake of birthright. It's important for the Korean government to provide cash support as a policy to increase births, but I think it should also implement policies to create a society that cares about children in general. What do you think of Korea's childbirth incentives? Let us know in the comments. If you're curious about why tattoos are illegal in South Korea, click here. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you!